Lee standing out the front of the box of Encoder, Group 3 Grand Prix winner on Saturdays. Really sort of an unassuming horse, but he's just kept stepping up each time we've raised the bar with him.
He has. We always identified him as a horse that would want ground. And we give him about, I think, 2 runs as a 2-year-old. He ran 4th in both. Obviously too short, spelled him and got him back. And this time in his form's been terrific because once he won his maiden and then that Open Saturday race, he was at the top of the weights all the time. And Saturday was the first time he's back at level weights for a long while. So
that Eagle Wave series has been good for a horse like him at this time of year to target. Generally, you're sort of waiting for the winter for a staying 3-year-old in Brisbane, but now that race, and it's been a launching pad for Derby winners in the past.
It has, yeah. Well, it works either way, either in the autumn or now, but probably now is even better. You can identify your horses that are Derby type horses, and you can and then give them the break and then set them for the Derby. But the only problem with this bloke is he hates wet tracks, so you know, if we get a wet Derby, we're out of business. But you know, if we get a dry winter, then we're fine.
You're saying to us off air now, a logical target for him is the Tab Wave here at the Gold Coast for 3- and 4-year-olds.
Yeah, well, it is, but only in the respect that there's a massive bonus for the winner if you can win the Grand Prix and then win the Wave. Otherwise, I probably would have had him in the paddock had it not been there. But you know, we're going to go to 3 weeks. I think it's a very easy thing to bring a horse back slightly and trip. It means you have to work. You don't have to work them as hard, and that's exactly what we want. We want a fresher version for the 1800.
Another horse that's been flying at the moment, particularly on the poly track, it seems like she's just got a confidence up at the moment, is Javita.
Yeah, she's George Alamonte filly. That's George bred her, and she's a full sister to Batiga. She's a well-bred filly. And Mark Newnham had her actually in Sydney, and when Mark went to Hong Kong, George sent her up twice. And yeah, she's been a revelation. I wish they ran group races for mares on the poly because I think she'd win one, you know.
Leave it with me, Lee.
Leave it there. Can you do something about that? Not many starters either. No, she's been great, and she's obviously going to have to go back on turf now in town. But she's run a couple of good races at Eagle Farm on turf, so I don't think it'll be. And her confidence is sky high. So
another horse. It was a good day for the Connections Dream Thoroughbreds with Star of Robert Glen performing well to win as well. So it was a good day for the stable all round.
It was, yeah. Look, Dream Thoroughbreds, Dave and Shannon run it. They're great friends of ours, and they've been fantastic supporters since I've been up here. You know. Where a lot of people don't want to give old broken down trainers that have come back from Singapore horses. They're quite happy to, and we've been winning a lot of races for them up here, and I was really more pleased for them than anyone on Saturday that horse was able to win them a good race.
Yeah, he's been sort of knocking on the door, and he finally sort of put it together to win another one for them.
Yeah. Well, the start before was a wet track, and he just didn't fire on that, and he wasn't quite right after the race, so we had a bit of work to do in the 2 weeks, but he seemed really good last week, and you know that's what encouraged us to have a go.
The stable's been going particularly well, not just in Encoder or a few on the poly. You've been sort of finding the right races for a few horses of late.
Yeah, we'll take them where they can win. Some of the places they can win, I don't want to take them to, but yeah, no, I think it's very much up here. It's very much second level horses. You've got to just get your placement right, and I spend a fair bit of time looking at different options and entering horses here and there, and then making a decision, you know, late in the piece where I'm going to run them. But you know, it's handy being close to the New South Wales border, even though the tracks aren't probably as good as our tracks up here. They are an option for benchmark horses and maidens and that sort of thing, particularly if they've got bobs. So the good thing about being here at the coast is you can access that very simply.
You've been able to target the poly, but now, you know, a different style of horse has got to come through and perform on the turf, because these races will no doubt get harder once we get back up and running on a consistent level on a Saturday.
Well, you know, Tony and those sort of guys, they'll start bringing a lot more horses down here, whereas a lot of them didn't want to run on the poly, and if you could identify that you had a good poly horse, then it was pretty easy money. You know, you just kept fronting up, and even though they go up in the weights, if they were really good on the track, that sort of compensated for that. So we've had a couple, 1, 3 and 4. We've had one that's won 4 on it, I think, Ilias Star. So it's a specific track, and I'm glad they're putting it to one side after the next meeting or two, they're putting it aside to the winter because I don't think they're as effective in the warm weather.
Saturday, you had a close association with Damien Oliver. Just take us through what you were thinking watching that race, and what a way to cap a career. I was at a Mermaid Beach Tavern and the pub just went off. I think that race captured a lot of people's attention, and it couldn't have been a better result.
No, exactly. I actually we'd gone home from the race, so we were just preparing to go out for a little while. I had the first of his treble on, and they were saying this is his best ride, so I had something on it, and oh beauty, we got dinner out of that, and off we went. And it wasn't until later in the evening said, oh, he's gone on and won the next two, and I didn't watch the replay of that last race till the next morning. But I honestly think of all the great rides he's put in, to leave that till his last effort was just amazing, to pull that out. And I saw him interviewed, and they said, what were you thinking at the top of the straight? And he said it was death or glory, he said. Death or glory. So he was on the job.
He never really lost that touch though throughout his career. Like, he's retired on his own terms. He couldn't have retired on a better note, but he was at a consistent level the whole way through his career, wasn't he?
He was, and he'd had a fairly serious neck and back injury. He's got a plate there, and it has altered how his style, how he sits on a horse. But I can pick him, like having had him for years. I can watch an 18-horse race at Caulfield and I can pick him straight away. He's got that slightly different style now, but nothing changed up here. And brilliant judge of what the speed is, and brilliant judge of which horses that he should be following. And it's remarkable what he did over 30 years, really.
Thanks for your time, Lee.
Good, Mitch.